welcome to Coronation Street. In the next 90 minutes, I want you to join me in a look at three of the most enduring and loved characters who ever lived in the street. Ina Sharples, Minnie Caldwell and Martha Longhurst. All three were widowed early in life and sought consolation in each other's company, spending their evenings supping milk stout in the Rover's Snug. Our journey begins in 1964.
My God. 1964, eh? Three right chickens, aren't they? Do you know it's 24 years since we was on munitions?
Aye. I was never very good at acetylene welding. Do you remember when we sang Auld Lang Syne in Albert Square, all six of us? 1938.
And my Alfred stood on the steps of Robert Peel's statue with your stone martin round his neck.
Well, we'll have to see what this year brings.
Well, there's one good thing anyway. We've got the babies to look forward to.
You what?
The babies, Martha.
What babies?
Oh, there's 5 of them. There's the Queen, Margaret Rose, the Duchess of Kent, and Princess Alexandra. I can always tell. They cancelled their engagements.
That's only 4.
Pardon?
That's only 4. You said 5.
Who else is expected?
Mrs. Higgins in March.
Who's Mrs. Higgins?
Has she cancelled her engagements and all?
I don't think so, Ina. She's the one I sit next to in laundrette.
Oh, I see. No, Frank Barlow hasn't got his new shop.
Elsie Tanner's at it again.
She's not.
She is.
Oh, is he? No, may God forgive me. Don't tell me. I don't want to know.
3 o'clock this morning when she come home.
You don't. 3 o'clock?
I thought you was the one that didn't want to know.
Oh, isn't anybody going to get the drinks in?
I wonder when somebody noticed we were sitting here panting. It's your turn.
Why?
I have a memory for them who was paid last. Come on.
Do you ever look back to your childhood?
What are you talking about?
Do you sit and remember things from when you were a little girl?
How many milk stouts has she had tonight?
Oh, she goes like this as time. She wants to take no notice.
I've done a lot of things in my life when I look back.
Here we go. Confessions of Maria Martin.
Well, go on then. What have you done apart from nout?
I agree with President Kennedy.
We'd be pleased about that.
We've lived through a very exciting period of history.
When?
All our lives. There weren't any telly when I were a little girl, no rockets nor anything. I used to do the black bottom a lot.
What, when you were a little girl?
And do you remember when my mother was a suffragette? I used to carry a banner for her. I got moved on in Albert Square.
Showing us up.
Oh, she always was wild. She gets it from her mother.
And then I went as a conductress on the trams when Mr. Caldwell got sent to France. I quite enjoyed that.
Why should England tremble? You should have told the Yanks they might have thought twice about coming in.
Mind you, I got very flummoxed over them clothing coupons. I never really did get the hang of them.
That were in last war clothing coupons. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's all the same to her. I remember when we were on munitions. There we were singing, I don't want to set the world on fire. And she's at it, goodbye, Dolly Gray.
Oh, she still is. You want to hear her on wash day.
And now they've got vacuum cleaners and plastics and holidays with pay. We missed all that.
I won't miss you if I take a swipe at you with the ham gag, I'm telling you.
And there were some bad times, too. When Mr. Caldwell was out of work, we only had bread and Maggie Ann.
Ah, you're right there.
And condensed milk.
Mind you, I'd go through it all again. I had a lot of fun. I really did. I enjoyed myself. I said, shall we have 3 more?
I think you've had enough.
3 harmless ladies spending the evening of their lives gossiping and reminiscing together. Who would begrudge them the odd drink? Who but Mission Chairman Mr. Leonard Swindley?
Now, who will that be? Stay where you are, I'll go. Oh, hello, Mr. Swindley. I didn't know there was anybody left in the hall. I thought the committee all have gone by now.
Good evening, Mrs. Sharples. Oh,
Oh, this is a friend of mine. This is Mr. Swindley, the chairman of the committee. Now, what can I do for you? And if it's about those broken pots last Thursday, don't look at me. It was that Mrs. Barron of the Woman's Happy Afternoon.
No, I've not come about that. I've come on another errand, although naturally the question of the crockery will have to be discussed at some time. The Women's Happy Afternoon say they know nothing about these breakages.
Oh?
Look, I think I'd better come back tomorrow when there's nobody here.
I've got no secrets from my friends. I'm sure I've done nothing to hide.
Well, if you're quite sure.
I am sure.
Very well, then. The committee feels that it is unseemly for the caretaker of the Glad Tidings Hall to be seen entering licensed premises.
What?
The committee feel that it is unseemly for the caretaker of the Glad Tidings Hall...
You and your committee listen here. Do you pay me anything?
We give you free accommodation and free coal.
Do you or do you not pay me? Them was my words.
Well, there's no actual money changes hands, certainly, no, but...
But what I do with my own bit of pension's no concern of yours, is it? And besides, who said I ever crossed the threshold of the Rover?
Ah, now, Mrs. Sharples, I made no mention
Prove
of
it, prove it. Go on, bring witnesses, prove it. Oh. I don't know what things are coming to these days. Here we sit, two ladies, making cocoa and talking about Handel's Messiah, and you come barging in here with messages from your committee. Well, I've got a message for them, and it's from the book. Love one another. That's what he said. In my father's house are many mansions. You want to look out, Leonard Swindley. You've had a lot more up there, like Coronation Street.
Now, there's no need to carry on like this, Mrs. Sharples. We're just giving you fair warning.
Fair? Who else do you think's going to take this lousy job if I give it up? Go on, answer me that.
Well, we shall have to face up to that if and when the time comes, shan't we? But it will come, Mrs. Sharples, unless you take notice of what I'm saying.
Take notice of you, Leonard Swindley? Who are you to come the high and mighty with me? Why, you're nothing but a little jumped up on you, aren't you?
No. Now, that's enough. All we're saying is, mend your ways or you'll have to go.
Hey, do you know any generals?
Oh.
So I'll have to go, will I? And who's going to put me out? Tell me that, Mr. Leonard Swindley. You and whose army? I've set wheels in action.
Hey?
This is a letter to the paper asking for legal advice. And when they've put me right, I'm going to put in a bit more penwork with the Sunday papers. I can just see those headlines coming through the letterbox. We accuse you, Leonard Swindley, did-da, did-da, did-da.
Oh, you're marvellous. You're not afraid of anyone, are you?
I'm not. I'll just get me coat.
Why, where are you going? Town hall or poor man's lawyer?
Neither. The Rover's returned. They're just about opening. Mind you, I don't want one, but I'm going to force myself to it. From now on, downright defiance. That's my motto. Come on. Hey, what struck a bit public?
Oh, it'll be that choir going round from St. Michael's.
Hey, what happens to the money they get? You know, your acres and pennies mount up. What do they do with the money when they get it? That's what I want to know.
It goes to the aged and infirm.
Ah, it makes you wonder. That vicar's wife toddling around in a fur coat. Don't tell me she got that on what he earns.
Our Lily's having a fur coat for Christmas.
Oh, will you give over about your Lily?
No, she's got to, you see. Her Wilf's going in for the Masonics. Yeah, I say. Look, it isn't that lot from St. Michael's after all.
I'm not looking, then they won't come near us. Besides, I've got no change for fur coats for vicar's wife to toddle around in.
Would you care to give to the Glad Tidings Mission Fund? Ah, Mrs. Sharples. I see you're partaking of a little stimulant.
The witch hunt, that's what it is. That Glad Tidings lot's out for a poor old woman's blood.
Now, how can you be sure of that?
Has that lot ever come singing round the pubs before? Answer me that.
Well, now I come to think about it, this is the first time.
I can just see that rotten committee getting together to seek me out in me wantonness.
You are?
Me wantonness. That's how they talk. You want to hear 'em. We will go down to Sodom and Gomorrah and seek out Mrs. Sharples. Poor old woman that's never did anybody any harm in her life.
Now, don't upset yourself.
I couldn't be more upset if I tried. Look, when that Leonard Swindley said something about partaking of a little stimulant, I could have let him have this half a mouth straight in his face.
Ah, but you didn't. You just said good evening and borrowed tuppence out of my change.
Hey, whose side are you on, Martha Longhurst?
There's no sides to it.
Oh, isn't there just? All I know is I'm out of a job.
What will you do?
Oh, one of my lousy daughters will have to have me.
Oh, it may not come to that.
I wish I could think you were right. But in their eyes, I am a Jezebel. I am the Scarlet Woman in their temple.
Oh, now do try and calm down. You sound too much like play acting.
Play acting? This is nothing to the play acting that get it to try to get me out. Come on.
If you could cope with the seating arrangement, Mrs. Sharples. Miss Nugent has agreed to stock us up with bridge rolls.
Yes.
A quiet, undemanding evening for the old folks. A little gentle music, an invigorating game of beetle.
You've been drinking.
Beg your pardon?
I can smell it on your breath.
Oh, no, I assure you.
Well, you whited sepulchre, and I thought you were strict TT.
I must apologise if I'm at all offensive.
You want to get some cashews to disguise it if you're going to keep it up.
It was only a very small measure of port wine.
Oh, you've been sharing his zip flask with him, have you?
It was merely a loyal toast to Mr. Papagopoulos on the occasion of Miss Nugent's retaining her post at Gamma.
I must get you some tracts on the subject. The committee tried to force them into my hand when I come here.
Oh, a slight relaxation.
Slight? You come reeling in here smelling like a barmaid's apron.
That's a little extreme, Mrs. Sharples.
Extreme. I should say it was an understatement of you to ask me.
I trust this would be strictly entre nous, Mrs. Sharples. I mean, I
Come in.
wouldn't do for a whisper of this to get back. Not that there's anything to be ashamed of.
Oh, I've brought back the egg you lent me, Mrs. Sharples, and you're just the chap I want to see.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've had an idea about the old folks' social. Why don't we have a bingo session?
You've come at just the right moment. He'll agree to anything. There's already 3 sheets in the wind.
Well,
Mr. Swindley learned to treat Mrs. Sharples with some degree of caution after that. Minnie Caldwell, whose love for strays was not confined to cats, finds a stray on her doorstep.
You want to knock harder, love?
You what?
Harder, on the knocker. Mrs. Tanner oversleeps sometimes.
Oh, I see what you mean. No, I've been in, and, I've come out again.
Oh, I see. Oh, well, it is a bit early for visiting. I expect you was in a hurry.
You're dead right there. In a hurry to see the back of me. And after all I've done for their kid and all, there's no gratitude, is there?
Oh, are you in trouble, then?
I'm in dead lumber. Oh, it's not now I'm bothered about. Oh, I am feeling a bit chilly. No, it's the night time that worries me. Gets very damp under that viaduct, you know. And the noise of the trains keeps me awake.
Oh, dear.
It's cold and all, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, don't you go worrying about me, love. I'll be all right. I mean, I could try the red wreck, but the forms are a bit hard. And then again, it's so exposed, isn't it? Still, not to worry. Oh, don't reckon I'll be here much longer.
Oh, that's a dreadful cough you've got.
It's not the cough that carries you off. It's the coffin they carry you off in.
Oh, now, you mustn't say things like that.
You'd think I'd be on air conscience, wouldn't you? After all I've done. No. No, I can't expect it, can I? I mean, I've got to make my own way in the world.
It's only a small room.
What's that, then?
My spare bedroom. It's not very modern, but at least it's comfy.
Oh, you mean I can come in and lie down for a minute?
I mean, you've found yourself lodgings. Well, for the time being, anyway. Come along, and we'll settle it over a nice hot cup of tea. Hello, Sonny Jim.
Hello, Ma.
I was wondering if you were comfortable.
It's a dream, Ma. A dream. I keep thinking I'll be waking up on that croft again, you know, coughing and shivering and my old bones aching.
Oh, you're not all that old.
No, but I feel old, Ma, you know what I mean? I've had a terribly hard life. You'd never believe it.
Oh, poor Sonny Jim.
I've been deprived, Ma. That's what I've been, deprived.
Oh, it must have been a very difficult time.
Difficult? It was a nightmare. A nightmare. I wake up, you know, screaming, and I walk.
Walk? Oh, dear.
Ah, now, Ma, don't you go worrying. I mean, it's all over now, isn't it? I mean, I'm not deprived anymore, am I?
Oh, I'm so glad, and I'm ever so glad you like it here. I've been wondering about the terms.
Terms? What terms, then?
Well, the money, you see.
Oh, the money, the old lolly, yeah. Well, look, Ma, I know what you're doing for me is straight from the kindness of your heart.
Well, I was wondering, would 30 shillings a week be all right?
Oh,
With 2 meals a day?
30 shillings? Oh, now, Ma.
Oh, well, yes, I suppose perhaps I did ought to have said
£2, Ma, and it's a bargain, eh? A bargain. Come on, let's shake hands on it, and the best of luck. Right, well, look, I'll scarper now and get those draft excluders for you.
Oh, well, you get cheap ones, won't you? Because I've only got my pension, you know.
Between you and me, love, I've got a friend in the business. Friend in the business, you know.
Thank you, Sonny Jim.
It's a pleasure, Ma, a pleasure.
Oh, you're here, are you?
No, darling, that's me over there.
Oh, he's a cheeky one, that.
Oh, well, that's 'cause he's been deprived.
He's been what?
Deprived, Martha.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I think it means
Nobody loves him.
Well, I can't say as I'm surprised at that. I hope you know what you're doing.
Oh, I'm sure it'll be all right. The only thing that worries me is what is Ina going to say? I want to talk to you about something, only I don't quite know how to put it.
Well, I tell you what to do. Just open your mouth and see what comes out, eh?
You won't be mad at me.
No, Scout's honour.
Well, I've been wondering if you could let me have some of your rent, or just a bit would do, if it's not inconvenient.
Oh, me rent, yeah.
Well, I wouldn't have mentioned it, only I think you forgot last week.
Oh, no, ma, no, I didn't forget. You know, you see, it's all my capitals tied up in my stock, you see.
Oh, I see.
Now, look, don't you worry your pretty little head about it.
Well, could you just let me have 2 shillings to be going on with?
Now, look, love, I'll have sold it all by Wednesday. You can have the lot then. Now, look, you just toddle off to the Rovers and have a good time. Enjoy yourself, and don't worry.
Oh, I don't think I'll bother tonight. Only because of my chill, that's all. Sonny, Jim,
Yes, ma'am.
you haven't had any breakfast.
Oh, I have, ma, I have. I'm bursting, ma, positively bursting.
There was only 1 egg, and it's still here.
Well, to tell you the truth, ma, I've gone off eggs. I'm right off eggs these days. In fact, I've only got to look at an egg that gives me claustrophobia. I mean, imagine being shut up inside there, ma. I mean, just imagine it. It must be terrible for the poor little chickens.
Sonny, Jim, you're fibbing.
Oh, now, ma.
Oh, yes, you are. You saved that egg for me.
Yeah, well, I hadn't a face, ma. I mean, I'm way behind in my rent for the kick-off.
Oh, yes, but that's only till you get started.
Well, let's wait till I get started then, eh? I mean, I've got me pride, you know.
Oh, dear. Oh, well, if you feel like that about
I do,
it,
ma, I do. Now, look, I've shoved a few of my capital assets in this bag which you've lent me, and if I don't flog them before the day's out, may I never darken that door again.
Oh, don't say that, Sonny, Jim.
No, I mean it, ma. I can't have you supporting me. Oh, I know all the great geniuses have to be supported while nobody's appreciating and that, but not you, ma.
Well, I would if I could.
I know you would. You're the best thing that ever happened to me, ma. I mean that. Now, look, don't you worry. You leave it to Sonny Jim. And we'll have a banquet tonight, eh? Just you and me. A real banquet. Fish and chips, black peas, a lot, eh?
Oh, well, I'm very partial to fritters, as a matter of fact.
Ma, you shall have the best fritters that was ever frit. You leave it to me.
I used to wonder whether he was all there.
Oh, he is, Ina.
Seeing that he's been crafty enough to get himself into this cozy little corner, I suppose he must be.
Guile.
And what was that bag he was carrying? I thought it was Dr. Graham before I saw who was holding it.
Oh, it's only an old Gladstone bag that belonged to my mother, Ina. Hello, Sonny Jim.
Hello, man. Knocking him back on your own, are you?
Oh, well, I don't know about that. I'm waiting. Oh, dear.
Something wrong, man?
Well, that's Mrs. Sharples' chair.
Oh, where is she then?
Well, she hasn't arrived yet.
Well, that's all right then, isn't it?
Oh, but she doesn't like anyone sitting in her chair.
Is that a fact now? Well, she'll just have to lump it, won't she? I mean, this is a public house, man, you know, and I'm public. I know my rights. Oh, I've been pushed around too much in my life, and that's a fact. Oh, it's a principle, you see, man, the principle. Do you know, every Saturday night when I was a kid, my dad used to knock me black and blue till he couldn't tell which was one end of me and which was the other.
Oh, he didn't.
He did, man, he did. Mind you, it was coming out of his ears at the time.
Out of his ears?
The booze, man, the booze, you know. And after he'd finished with me, he'd start on me, man. You see, the trouble with me dad was he was very popular.
Oh?
He was a very popular man, was me dad. Then he got sick, you see. Well, being a labourer, he couldn't get any work, you know, and that worried him. So he went on the booze again. And being that popular, there was always someone who'd buy him a drink, you know what I mean? That's what finished him in the end, being popular.
Oh, poor Sonny Jim.
Oh, it wasn't all that bad, man. We had the good times and all, you know. Me mum thought the world of him. She didn't last long after he went. Anyway, that's what labouring gets you. It's the old grey matter that counts, man. That's a fact.
So all this, then?
Oh, now then, Ina.
You cheeky thing.
And that'll be quite enough from you, Martha Longhurst.
Well,
Now, man, now don't go upsetting yourself. I mean, there's principles and principles, you know what I mean? Here we are, madam. The carriage awaits.
Oh, look, Ina. What lovely sweaters, and such good value for the price.
I mean, though they made a cotton waste. Hey, why don't they make us labels on these?
Well, it's like this, missus. It's the frustrated export order, you see. The Board of Trade would have to be like the clappers if I reveal what London Fashion House made these lovely sweaters.
Could I buy 2 of these lovely sweaters? Have you gone daft?
The lady wants to buy 2 of these lovely sweaters. Obviously a lady of taste and breeding. It always shows, you know.
And the material is so soft and fine.
That's right. Move in, ladies, move in. You've just heard this lady say she wants to buy 2 of these lovely sweaters. Now, I don't know who you are, love, or where you come from, but you've got an honest face, and I hope you won't be offended if I ask you a question.
Go ahead, young man.
Right, love. Oh, what's your name, love?
Minnie.
Right, Minnie. You'd be very happy to pay 39 10 for 2 of these lovely Brushcombe Santa Marine sweaters.
I would that.
Right, wrap them up for the lady. No, love, put your purse away. I'm going to treat you. The wife will kill me when I get home, but I'm not going to say 39 10.
But they are worth every penny of that.
I know, love, but they call me Crazy Jet on this market. I'm not going to say 39 10. I'm not going to say 9 10. Give us a penny. There's the sweaters, love. And your penny back. You never know when you might need it. Now, come on, ladies and gentlemen. We're going mad on this dole today. I've got to clear the lot, regardless of cost or expense.
Thank you very much, young man.
It's a pleasure to serve you, madam. Well, somebody's got to do something for the old age pensioners. Now, come on, madam. 1911 cash. And who knows, I might have one of me funny turns again. I might go start staring bonkers.
There'll be some lovely hot soup for your supper when you get back, Sonny Jim.
Perhaps Minnie wasn't cut out for the high-pressure work of sales. The desire to help people wasn't confined to Minnie. Ina could be relied upon to stand up for the people of Coronation Street, even though sometimes the person in question didn't meet her own strict standards of conduct.
Oh, that Elsie Tanner, she was just the same during the war. Skirts up to here. Have you got any gum, chum?
There's no harm in chewing gum.
Never said there was, but there were other things.
Don't tell me, I don't want to hear.
I wouldn't soil my lips, but I'll tell you one thing. She bought clothing coupons off me, and she never got the money from that for what she earned out of munitions, and don't you tell me she did.
Aye, there was some as went short of nothing.
You know, one night when the raids was on, she'd come tottering into the shelter with a yank on one arm and an air raid warden on the other. And do you know what they did?
Oh, don't tell me if it's anything like that.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, they started singing community songs. I soon put a stop to that. Yes, Elsie Tanner, I said, you'll be rolling out the barrel down there if one of them bombs has got your name on it. All I can say is, thank God the Germans never got here. I should hate to see one of my neighbours collaborate. And she would have done, make you no mistake about that. What you having, Sam, again, please? And just enjoy yourself.
I will. See you do now. Right, good night now.
Hey, have you seen tonight's paper?
No.
Well, you may be done up like Lord and Lady Uncombe Duncombe, but you've got manners like pigs. Hey, have you seen it?
What?
Tonight's paper.
Yes.
What do you think about it?
Oh, is there going to be another war or something? I only read the memorials.
Oh, well, I'll read you something out of tonight's personal column. Listen to this. I, Mrs. Elsie Tanner, give due warning that I will, from this day onwards, take legal action against anyone uttering slanderous statements against me good name. Now, whatever can people have been saying about the poor soul?
Evening, Elsie.
Gin and tonic, please.
Gin and tonic.
Hello. Hello. Is it still as cold out?
Perishing.
I'm about due for a bath, but I keep putting it off and putting it off. It's the sort of weather that makes you want to stay dirty, isn't it? I saw tonight's paper.
I just hope somebody else has, that's all. That matter could break something.
Well, you've put the announcement in now.
Yes, I know. It's making me feel such a fool.
Oh, nonsense. Of course you're not.
Oh, when I saw it in cold print there, I, Mrs. Elsie Tanner. It makes me blood run hot and cold when I think about it.
Well, you've done it now, haven't you? Of course she's got to take legal action. I mean to say, whoever's been doing the talking is not going to take this lying down now, are they?
I'm sure I wouldn't know. I've never been one to get mixed up in other people's business.
It'll be in front of a judge and jury before you can say donkey stone, and I shouldn't be a bit surprised if a certain person who is sitting not 10 yards away from here weren't to be brought up from the cells in handcuffs.
Oh, never say that.
I am saying it.
Do you mean Martha?
I make no mention of names, but there's a certain woman as comes in this snug, and you know who I mean when I say she looks like a weasel in specs, as has got a big mouth.
Oh, did you hear what she said just then?
Right.
Now, don't do enough you'll be sorry for Martha. Even a worm can turn, you know.
Nothing like a nice old saying, is there, Minnie?
I've been keeping me ears cocked.
Right, well, I'll remind you of another one. Listeners here no good of themselves.
You'll excuse me interrupting you, but...
Oh, don't worry, Elsie. This lady's just going.
This lady's not going anywhere till she's had her say. Well, do you mind if I get mine in first? I trust you've seen this evening's paper.
I have that, and believe me, Elsie, you have my pity. I don't want
Shut up, you, and I'm warning you. If you don't learn to keep that flaming lying gob of yours shut, you're for the high jump.
Oh, nice language. Beautiful. Somebody never went to Sunday school. And what exactly am I supposed to have said?
You know.
I want to know what I have been saying.
More than enough.
Well, it's a free country, you know. All right, I will say something. Something I've kept to myself. Kept in the bosom of my forgetting heart for years and years.
Well...
Come on, let's be having it.
For years and years, I've shut my eyes and ears to the goings-on at number 11 Coronation Street.
And what exactly are the goings-on you refer to?
Oh, yes, well, you might flush her. We all know what your war work was. From 1939 to 1945, number 11 Coronation Street was just Liberty Hall. It was always a surprise to me that come VJ Day, them Yanks didn't take it down stone by stone and rebuild it in the United States of America.
Have you anything more to say?
Yes, plenty. Cast your mind back to VJ Day, madam. Cast it back. 2 Yanks held a ladder up to the front of your house while you toddled up and hung out a banner that said, God bless Monty and the boys. Never in the memory of God have I known such downright sarcasm, and don't talk to me of talk.
Now listen, I'm doing the talking, and I'm telling you this. Is it true that you've been putting it around that I've been carrying on with a fella?
But you are, aren't you?
Not that it's any of your business, but just for your information, that happens to be my husband. It is my silver wedding next year, and I also have my marriage lines to prove it. More's the pity.
Good night, Ina. Oh, and Ina, you've got a dewdrop on the end of your nose. Same again, girls. Go on, get up. They're gutting the house.
Ah, well, she was always running around with holes in her clogs when she was a little girl, Elsie Tanner. Her mum never had any furniture. It's family failings repeating themselves.
Ooh, they'll have now left.
If you knew your law of landlord and tenant, you'd know they can't take everything.
I do. They can't take her bed nor the tools of her trade.
No, and as far as Elsie Tanner's concerned, that's the same thing.
Hey, do you want a photograph of Summit? You've seen it all before. That table cost me £4 8 years ago at Jack Smedley's, and I know the left leg's gone, but I don't care, because I'm common. Any more questions?
Elsie, we weren't staring at you, love. We just thought we might be able to help.
Oh, no, it's not you, love. It's that gawping lot from Rosamond Street. Oh, go on, Mrs. Bradshaw. We all know that you sleep 8 in a bed in your house. Go on. Don't you come it with me.
Hey, trip him up, Elsie.
You're very popular around here, Mrs. Tanner.
And you'll laugh the other side of your face when you find what the papers have got to say tonight.
Mrs. Tanner, I don't care if they put me on telly as long as I get shot of this lot.
We've not had an audience like this for quite a bit, Mr. Ryden. Shall I give him a tune on musical spoons till we get cracking again?
Vinny, shove that stuff up to front of van. Come on, let's see what's left in front row.
Harry, you've got to do something.
Look, if I say one word to Elsie, she'll knock me into the middle of next week.
Yeah, but Phil and Betty'll see it all.
Well, they're not coming till tonight.
Yeah, but at the rate Elsie's going, she'll still be standing out on the pavement at midnight arguing over a tablecloth.
You be careful with that banister, else I'll cut you off at the stocking tops, I will.
Oh, don't get excited,
Tell me, I've here a disgusting chest of drawers made out of very cheap wood.
Elsie, love, don't you think it's about time you called it a day? You'll have naught left.
Oh? Oh, the U.S. cavalry has arrived, has it? I wondered when my allies would get here.
We'd help if we could.
You could have helped a lot before, so go home. You could have stuck together against Wormald.
It wouldn't do any good. Look what's happening now.
Look, if it had none of us paid the rent, he wouldn't have dared to put us all out in the street and make a jumble sale, would he?
Look, they've won, Elsie.
Yeah, because they're all as knock-kneed and soft-headed as you are. Hey, did you see that sideboard?
I'm sort of dust around the back of it since VE Day.
Oh, and it had things chalked on back. Santa Fe Trail. And somebody been trying to carve their initials on top.
Aye, always was a wild little lad, was Dennis Tanner.
Do you think them 2 men would like a cup of tea?
You...
Oh, well, I just thought they looked tired and it's rather heavy furniture. Oh, well, if you think so.
Are you all right there, Mrs. Sharples, or would you care to come down in the 2 and 9s?
You mind your own business, Mrs. Tanner, and I'll mind mine.
I just thought you might have a better view, that's all.
Look, don't you think you'd better keep quiet? It's a long time since I saw Bayliss on Coronation Street. You've nothing to be proud of.
You cheeky-faced monkey, so I know I'm in the tone of the street, am I?
Aye, well, if anybody's an expert at that game, it's you.
Oh, just because somebody sticks up for herself and stands up for her rights. You wait and see, Mrs. Sharples. One of these days you'll be sorry. You'll have... Oh, what the hell do you think you're doing?
What do you mean, ma'am?
What do I mean, ma'am? What do you think you're doing? Eating?
I've just been and made myself a butty. I've had no breakfast.
They're pulling the house down about our ears, and all you can do is make yourself a butty. I'll kill you.
What else do you expect me to do?
How did you get in?
I came right back. I was starving.
You're supposed to be phoning.
Yeah, well, I did. They just told me what they told you. They'll send this photographer chap round.
Oh. Oh, well. Well, Mr. Wormald's going to look very black when he's in the newspapers tonight. I've made my point. You can just dump all that stuff back in again.
Why?
Yeah, the rent's inside. I've made my point, you see.
Although all was quick to criticise Elsie, Ina understood the passions that drove her on. Ina was always the first to offer advice when one of the residents received a knock from an outsider.
Come on, Elsie, open up, will you? Open the door, Elsie, come on. Open up.
Oh, look, come on, Elsie, please.
Now, look, why don't you two ladies push off? Go on, go and do your shopping or something. Push off.
She's up at window, look. You can see her through curtains.
She's opening it.
It's just like Romeo and Juliet, isn't it?
Well, what do you want?
Look, Elsie, I just want to chat.
I'm in no mood for little chats with you.
Oh, look, love, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean, all right. Coming round here, making my...
Now, look, Elsie,
scandal.
it's no good going on like this. Now, look,
Please,
Elsie,
look.
please, just let me in. For old time's sake, eh?
For old time's sake.
Yeah. Oh, that's my girl.
Here! Your presents! For old time's sake! Here! Take 'em!
After all this time, he ought to try the back door. She mightn't like talking in front of all of us.
Why not? She's been public property for years.
Now, come on, let me in, woman, will you?
Don't you woman me, Laurie Fraser.
Elsie, just let me in. I want to chat with you.
You've naught to say to me that could interest me. No, do you understand? I wouldn't even let you set foot in me coal hole.
Now, listen, Elsie, if you carry on like this, you're going to have the police round.
Oh, really? Are you afraid of washing your dirty washing in the street? I'm not. It's happened to me before, you know. And if the police do come round, it might as well look down your club as well.
Now, look, let's just get the record straight.
Oh,
Come on,
no,
come
you
on.
don't get your flashy clogs off my doorstep. Go and get.
Elsie!
I don't care. Look at him. Just look at him. If you're going to spend money in his club, you better see what sort of creep you're spending your money on. You mind your own flaming business and keep out of this tennis.
Now, look, get her in here, will you?
Don't
Shut her
you
up or
tell my
something.
son what to do. You leave my family out of this.
Lady, do you mind after all? It is a private affair, like.
What, in a public street? Look, if you want to do some hustling, go and hustle your pint-sized sponsors.
I'm not shifting out as much right in this street as you have, Dennis Tanner.
I'm with friends.
Look at him.
Elsie.
Anybody care to take him on? Anybody? His wife doesn't care. Oh, he goes out with as long as she gets a pin money.
Now, look, I've stood as bad as much as I've done. I'm coming in.
Find some other street. You've got no followers here.
Well, haven't you ladies ever seen an argument before? I always thought you thrived on them.
It's all right, really, Mr. Fraser. You know, she just gets a bit overexcited. It's the blood pressure, like. The old man's up and she feels she has to blow it.
I surmised as much. All spent now. Still, somebody had to pick up the bits. Where shall I put them? These are some you missed with. Pity there wasn't a couple of bricks among them. Give me a steadier aim.
Thanks for bringing them in. But you can just take them back and dump them. Dump them down them stairs to that sleazy cellar that he calls a club. Give him to Mrs. Laurie Fraser as a present from me.
Is that what you want? Shall I?
No. Leave them where they are. I'll pawn them one day and buy myself some new clothes.
I can soon get them delivered, you know.
Men, they profit every way, don't they? No, leave them. They'll convert to cash.
Well, you've done very well, I must say. Still, you were always good for a street row, same as me. Between us, we must have had more than all the folk round here put together. Well, you settled him. He scuttled back to his little cubbyhole to hibernate. Back to his spinning tops and his shove halfpenny and his twopenn'orth of lawful spouse. I shouldn't be sorry if I were you.
The only thing I'm sorry about is being such a fool. You'd think after all this time I would have learnt to ask a few questions like, are you married and things like that.
My husband always wore a ring and I saw to it he kept it on and all.
So did mine. Fat lot of good that did.
He's only a legalised lodger.
That's as may be. I've learned my lesson. It won't happen again. I won't get my fingers burnt again.
How you say?
I mean it.
Oh, no doubt you do. Until tomorrow, the day after, and the day after that. You know, sometimes you think you'll be dead before you can turn round. Life goes so fast. There are other times when it goes on, and on, and on. Oh, they've arrived at last, have they? I think I'm daft wearing woolen vests in August. Hey, sit you down.
Oh,
I've got some tea here. It isn't very often we have Elsie Tanner for tea. But I'm not daft, you know. You need something to keep you warm when you're living by yourself.
I know that.
It has its virtues, you know. I'm my own best friend. I know all my own moods. I know how far I can go with myself, and I know how far I can't. I've even got a motto.
What's that?
Never shake hands with the devil till you meet him. Sugar?
Yeah, please. You, don't mind living on your own. It doesn't seem to bother you.
It wouldn't show if it did. I've even lost my dog now. But I like it all right. You know, when you get married, you know that one of you's got to die first. The trouble is that you don't know which. I often think about him and the daft rows we had and the silly things we fell out about. He used to sit where you're sitting now, rocking himself, chunnering about something or other and smoking his pipe. And I wish to goodness he'd either go to bed or go out and let me have the house to myself so I could be on my own for a bit. I used to natch at him to go out for a pint and cheer himself up, but all he ever said was, "Nay, lass, I'm quite content here."
Did he go out much?
Oh, aye, he went out. He liked a pint now and then, too. Sometimes, not very often, he'd say, "Go on, put your hat and coat on," and we'd walk off down to Rovers, arm in arm, just as if we were going to church. But he never went out when I wanted him out, and he was never in when I wanted him in.
Do you, never get lonely?
You can be lonely in the Rovers on a Saturday night. You know, the trouble is that when you lose your husband, you think you're going to be a lot more lonely than you really are. But I'm all right. I have all my bits and pieces here. When he finally died, I put all his pictures away because I couldn't bear the look of them. But they're all up again now. It don't bother me anymore. Might have been banished to a different woman. Another cup of tea?
No, thanks. I'd better be going. I've stayed later than I should anyway.
Ah, well, I suppose you could say I'm better off now than I ever was. Say what I like, think what I like, do what I like. And I take advantage of that and all.
I bet you do and all.
Sure.
Elsie wasn't the only one to have man trouble. When a new man, or rather an older man, returns to the street, rivalry between Ina and Martha flares up.
Morning.
G'day. I'll have a schooner.
You what?
Oh, sorry, a pint of whatever it is comes out of that. Oh, I don't mind drinking with the flies. Have one with me.
Duh. Stranger around here, are you, eh?
Well, in one way I am, in another I'm not.
All right.
Been away for over 40 years.
Is that so?
Born round in Zion Street, went to Bessie Street School.
All right.
Name's Ashley, Ted Ashley.
Oh, Walker. Jack Walker.
Pleased to meet you.
Back for good, are you?
No, just for a trip. Wanted to see the old place again.
I suppose you'll find things changed there.
Well, 40 years.
Mr. Fraser must have bought a new car, and he's got a chauffeur. There's an enormous black limousine.
Oh, that's mine.
Oh, I am sorry.
It's not really mine, just hired.
Oh, Annie, love, this is Mr. Ashley. Just come from Australia. Ah, but he was born and bred round here.
How interesting.
Went to Bessie Street School, he did.
You must know Albert Tatlock.
Tatlock. Is Albert still here?
He is indeed.
We sat next to each other in class.
No.
Fancy that.
I'd like to see Albert again.
Well, he's in here most evenings.
I'll drop in there.
Ah.
I tell you who you'll know too. Mrs. Sharples, Mrs. Caldwell, Mrs. Longhurst. Oh, how silly of me. Jack, what were their maiden names? Mrs. Longhurst would know. Mrs. Longhurst! Mrs. Longhurst!
She was there a minute ago, ain't all.
Mrs. Longhurst? That's funny. She doesn't seem to be there.
We shall be real sorry to have missed you, Mr. Ashley.
I was just going without you.
Oh, I were busy.
I don't know what you were busy at, but it wasn't tidying up.
I was just looking through me clothes.
The moths have beaten you to it.
I always like to go through my wardrobe at this time of year.
There's going to be some very low plunges seen according to Paris.
There's always some very low plunges seen, and you don't need to go to Paris to see them.
I think Mrs. Tanner dresses very nice.
Look, when you finish your haute couturing, do you think you can get yourself done up to come to Luxie? Go on, shift yourself. They won't hold the first show, you know, while you get there.
Oh, no, you two go on, Ina. I know, I don't feel
You're
like
not bothered?
going. I'm not bothered.
Ah, well, you were bothered enough this morning. It was you that invited us. It was you that wanted to see the film.
Oh, Martha, you said most particular you wanted to see it.
I know, but I'd forgotten I've already seen it. I saw it with our Lily and Will.
That's where you can come and see it again. You'll have forgotten what it's all about when it's all over any road.
Oh, no, Ina. I remember every detail about it. Any road cowboys are all the same. But you two go. You'll enjoy it. I'll see you later down at Rover's.
Right, yeah. Come on, Minnie. Remind me to drop a line to James Bond one of these days, will you? And remind him he's a cowboy. I don't think he knows. They wouldn't have dared to have shown a film like that 20 years ago. You wait. They'll be having Funny and Glorious Technicolor next.
Oh, she?
Nobody you know. Hasn't Mrs. Longhurst been in yet?
Haven't seen it tonight, Mrs. Sharples. Well, you didn't have to sit through it if you didn't like it.
Well, I paid for my ticket, hadn't I? And I didn't say I didn't like it. Oh, look who's joining us. Miss Top Model of 1924.
Did you enjoy your film?
Martha, where have you been?
Nowhere.
Well, where are you going?
Nowhere. I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Don't worry. It was well worth waiting for. What did you do? Fall in with the doors?
Well, I do have a job to go to, you know.
Oh, I think you've got it. Lovely, Mrs. Lindley.
Oh, thank you very much.
Oh, it's just like a real post office, isn't it?
What did you expect? It's not a toy kit.
Right. Thank you very much. I'll see you later. Yeah. Oh, by the way, you're both invited for your teas.
Who?
You and Minnie.
When?
Today.
Why? What are you after?
What do you mean you've been for your teas before?
Oh, aye. Sundays. 1 Sunday and 3.
Well,
Well, it isn't Sunday today.
you can please yourself. You know where I live.
Oh, Ina, that wasn't called for. Oh, you can be awkward at times.
All right. I'm not being awkward for nout. What's she been buying?
A tin of best salmon.
Best. She's never bought a tin of best salmon since their Wilf come courting. She's up to something, that lass.
Oh, come in.
Well, you needn't look so miserable. You invited us. You're going all dolled up.
Well, we are having us teas.
You've got rouge on.
Well,
I told you, Minnie, she was up to something. Free tea on Wednesday, best salmon, new fock, rouge on her face, bottle of port, and the table set for 4. Come on, you. I don't like secrets.
Oh, excuse me. I'm looking for Martha Hartley.
oh, that's me.
Only I'm Martha Longhurst now. You don't remember me, do you?
Who is he?
Don't you remember him, Ina?
Was he the fella of my life?
No, why? We went to school with him. You did and all.
Did I?
Yeah. It's young Ted Ashley from Zion Street. Although I should say Australia now, I suppose. Oh, come in, Ted, and sit you down. You're dead on time, love. There you are. Sit down. No, Ina. No, you sit there, Ina. Minnie, you sit over there. Tea's all ready, Ted.
Oh, you seem to have done very well for yourself since you went to Australia, I'll say that for you.
Oh, I can't grumble.
Ah, but it's a different sort of life, isn't it?
Ah, yes, different, all right.
Have they got telly?
Pardon?
Television.
Of course they have, you dog-harmless thing. Haven't they?
Oh, yes.
What did you want to ask him that for?
Oh, nothing. I was only going to say we have.
Have another chocolate eclair, Ted.
No thanks, Minnie.
Oh, no. That's Minnie. I'm Martha.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I keep getting it wrong, don't I?
All right, then I'll take them off your hands.
Oh, we had some good times together at school, you and me, didn't we?
Oh, yes. Great.
Oh, happy, happy days. They'll never come back.
I should have thought you'd have been thankful. You were forever being walloped for being bottom of class.
Oh, I say, Ted, do you remember when you put Miss Whittaker's window through?
Miss Whittaker?
Yes, headmistress of Bessie Street School.
Did I?
Aye, with a beanbag.
No, I don't remember that.
Oh, Ted, you do.
Well, he ought to know.
Do you know what I like?
What?
Koala bears.
Oh, yes, they're very nice.
I've got a pussycat, Bobby.
Mind you, to tell you the truth, I haven't seen very...
And Ted, then there was that time when you kept putting your tongue out on school class photo. Laugh, I were in tux, I'm not kidding.
That's right. The class photograph. That was the day you were sent home for putting lipstick on.
That was her.
Was it? Oh, yes. You were a bit of a devil in your young days, weren't you?
Oh, I wasn't all, Ted. Up to all sorts.
You think you can get up to putting the kettle on for another cup of tea?
Oh, Ina, you know it takes a long time to boil.
Well, I wouldn't mind another drop if you're brewing, if it's no trouble.
Oh, no trouble at all, Ted. It won't take a minute. You just sit down there and enjoy yourself. Carry on talking. Don't leave it all to me.
Hey, how did she come to invite you? When did she see you?
She didn't. Her cousin Clara lives next door to her, so she told Clara to ask me.
I see. You're sup out stronger?
What, than tea?
Ah, you take a drop.
Too right.
Good. You're invited out to a party tonight. The Rover's return with me and her.
Oh, we'll be very pleased to have you. I don't suppose you've got anything like the Rovers in Australia.
Oh, are you talking about Rovers? Oh, that's a good idea, Ted. Why don't you pop down tonight and have a drink with us? We do go in sometimes, you know, just for company like.
You're too late. He's coming.
Oh, is he?
I'll tell you one thing I do remember about you, Martha, from Bessie Street days.
Oh, now, Ted, if you're going to start talking about all them boys what was running after me, I'll never forgive you.
No, it wasn't that. I always remember that every time anyone spoke to you, you'd colour up and burst into tears if they shouted at you, always very quiet and shy. You were a shy little thing, weren't you?
Oh, no, Ted. It wasn't her.
That was me.
Now that the cat was out of the bag, Ina and Minnie were not going to be shown up by Martha. In fact, Ina was quite capable of laying a trap for a man when it suited her.
Harry, mate, I am off. I'm going to pick Joyce up now.
Right, well, enjoy yourself, mate.
You betcha, mate.
Oh, well, hello, Lenny. Can I introduce you to a pal of mine, Ted Ashley?
You can.
He's come from Australia.
To do.
Ted Ashley.
From where?
I don't know what you've got yourselves up like 2 dinners on 1 plate for, I'm sure.
Shown us at once today, that's quite sufficient for me.
And me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Flaunting yourself.
Hey, he's come, he's here. Ooh.
Give over shouting.
Where are we going through?
We are staying here until we are asked. All of us. You'll act like ladies for once.
Aye, Ted and me used to sit together in school.
It's true enough.
Oh, he did. Aye, and here's Ken Barlow. He's a teacher at Bessie Street now.
Ah, how do you do?
And this is Mrs. Tanner.
Oh, good evening.
Hello, I'm Elsie Tanner. I never sat next to anybody at school. I was always out in the corridor.
Now here we've got Mr. and Mrs. Hewitt.
Hello,
Pleased to meet you. How do you do? Well, I've come far enough. I think it's about time I started to enjoy myself. What are you having, everybody?
Getting the most awful dirty looks.
Who from?
Them three over there. What have I done?
I've no idea. Are you sure it's you they're looking at? They seem to be giving us all dirty
Something the
looks.
matter, ladies?
Oh, no. I'll go over there and I'll spit in their eye in a minute.
Oh, crud, I forgot. Come on, girls. Join the party.
Hey, come on, that's us. Come
I'm
on.
not so sure we should be invited in.
Oh, Ina, we might as well. I've got my best hat on.
It's a matter of etiquette. It needs thinking about.
Oh, well, come on, Ina, have your thoughts?
Oh, well, I suppose we might as well. It's a free drink.
Hey, Ted.
Yeah?
I bet your wife will miss you while you're away, won't she?
My wife died 10 years ago.
Oh, I am sorry to hear that.
Well, I better go and see what old Albert wants.
Hey, fancy you having all that land. And you hadn't a penny to bless yourself with before you went away.
Well, long story. I had to work like a drover's dog for 20 years. Then, well,
It must be grand to travel. I've never been nowhere. I've never been out of this county.
you've been to London, haven't you?
No, I've never even been to London.
Oh, you ought to see London, Martha.
Aye.
My sister Alice lives in London. You remember Alice?
Oh, little fair-haired girl.
That's her. Look, why don't you drop her a line? She'll be pleased to hear from you. You could go down south and stay with her for a few days. She's dead nuts on anyone from the north. She's been away 20 years and she's still homesick.
Oh, no, I couldn't impose on her, Ted.
I tell you, she'd be as pleased as punch. Tell you what, I'm going down to stay with her at the end of
You
the week.
leaving here, then?
Well, you know, I only came just for a few days to look at the old place.
You're going to live with her in London?
No, I'm off back to Australia next month.
Oh, your sister Alice wouldn't want me to visit her in London.
She'd be tickled pink. You really ought to make the effort to go down south and stay with her, Martha. It'd do you a world of good.
When did you say you was leaving?
Well,
Hey, Ted! Ted, come down here a minute, will you? I want a bit of advice.
oh, all right, coming, Albert.
Right.
Well, I'm leaving on Friday. I'll see you later. Now, what's the trouble, Albert?
Well, it's just to the fencing.
I've got something to tell you.
Did I say she was up to something?
Ted Ashley's asked me to go to London with him.
What was that you said, Martha Longhurst? I didn't quite catch that.
He asked me today.
You're not going?
Why not?
You mean to say that you're going away with him as brazen as
I
brass?
didn't say I was going with him. What I meant was I should be meeting him again in London.
Who's paying your airway fare, him?
Oh, Martha, you couldn't let him pay your fare.
Huh, she's understood you, Nelson.
I'll pay me own fare.
Oh, Martha, it wouldn't be respectable to go.
It's all very respectable. He wants me to meet his sister, Alice. He said she'd be pleased if I visited her.
Let me give you a bit of advice, my lass. In my experience, an invitation's all right so long as you can go. But most people issue invitations, knowing full well that the other person won't be able to get there.
You what, Ina?
Just let me tell you something, Ina Sharples. I am going to get there. I'm definitely going to London. And neither you nor anybody else is going to stop me.
Oh, wait.
Here, Mr. Walker, is that hot chocolate?
Oh, thanks, love. Hello, Martha.
Oh, hello, Ted. Hey, I say, Ted, have you got a minute? Just...
You bet, Martha.
Well, it's just that since I saw you last, I've had to change my plans a bit.
Plans?
I won't be able to go down with you on the train. I'll be coming down a bit later on.
On what train?
The train to London. To see your sister, Alice. She said she'd be pleased to have me visit her.
Oh, yes. Yes, I meant if you were to write to her.
Oh, but I did write to her, Ted. Last night. I got the address off your Clara. I told Alice that you'd invited me.
Oh, you did?
Yes, so will you say I'm sorry I can't come on the same train as you, like I said in my letter? But I'll be there the next day, though.
Oh, I see. Yes, all right, Martha.
Good.
I'll tell her. Ah, that's better. It was nice of you to ask me in for a cup.
Well, if other folk can ask you a tea, I don't see why I can't have one of these.
No, thanks, Ina.
For tea.
Ah.
What's the tea like in Australia?
About the same. All comes from the same place, you know. They haven't got your touch with it.
Take that for what it's worth. I believe you've done very well there. I didn't think you had it in you. Must be easier out there.
Oh, yes. You can pick up gold in the streets of Sydney, if the Abos don't get it at first.
So, you'll be going back there if it's so good.
Yes, well, all my roots are there now.
Ah, you're a turncoat, Ted Ashley.
Oh, break it down, Ina. You know, it wouldn't do you any harm to see a bit of the world. Broaden your mind a bit.
Have you know I've got the broadest mind in Coronation Street.
You know, I think you'd go down well in Australia.
Now look, well, don't you come that line with me. I have no intention of either marrying you or going to Australia.
Here, now, hang on a minute.
No, Ted Ashley, the answer is no.
Oh, well, in that case, I'd better be off, Ina.
You might as well.
Thanks for the tea. Ah, Minnie.
Hello, Ina. I didn't know Ted was visiting you.
For the last time, I know.
Oh, how do you mean?
Ask him in for a cup of tea and the next thing I know he's proposing.
Do you mean marriage?
Now, what the egg do you think I mean?
Well, fancy that. What did you say?
Say, I turned him down, flat. I'm standing for that sort of nonsense. Ted Ashley or no Ted Ashley.
I washed the tea things for you, Ina.
You know, you might as well move in here the time you spend here.
Oh, well, we're both going to Rover, so I thought I might as well wait.
Have your tea and all.
Oh, I'm glad you're both here.
You do dashing about.
Well, I won't be going in Rovers tonight, you see.
Oh, and what's that got to do with us?
Well, I'm off first thing in the morning, so I thought I'd call in and say me goodbyes now.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Martha. I hope you have a nice trip.
Thank you, Minnie. Goodbye. And you and all.
Martha, I feel like I must give you a word of warning.
Warning?
He's not serious.
Not serious?
Well, you see, he's just asked Tina to marry him.
Aye. He didn't know. I turned him down.
Well, Ina Sharples, he may have asked you to marry him, but he's asked me to go to London with him.
You'll not make 5 yards down the street in them shoes.
What's wrong with them?
Well, it's folly wearing shoes that high. They'll push your pelvis right out of shape, I'm warning you.
Oh, I should worry.
Oh, I think they suit you.
Hey, is it true about Mrs. Longhurst?
Everything's true that's put out about Martha Longhurst, and has been for 60 years. What in particular?
She's thinking of getting married again to that Australian.
Oh, that hadn't better be true, and I wouldn't put it out if I were you.
Oh, there's nothing further from our minds.
Well, I should hope not at her age, any road.
Nothing further from her mind. Written in letters of fire on her brain. Getting married.
Oh, I hope she doesn't do anything stupid when she's in London.
She'll be picked up by the police in Hyde Park for wandering in her mind, state she's in. Bar's a disgrace. There's no bit of polish on it for donkey's years.
Well, I'll leave you to it then, Mrs. Sharples.
Yes, I'll manage a lot better without you breathing down my neck.
No. I do want you to know how grateful I am to you for stepping into the breach like this. You know, it really is too bad of Mrs. Longhurst. She said she'd be back on Easter
Never
Saturday.
trust a woman that set out on a manhunt.
A manhunt? A manhunt, Mrs. Sharples?
It's no use pumping me. I know nought.
But she just said she was going to London for a few days.
Look,
Holiday she didn't
You
say
want to go and put a card in Florrie Lindley's window. I'm not doing this job permanent. Like I told you, I'll help you out over the holidays.
But is she not coming back from London then?
Like I said, I know nought.
Mrs. Caldwell's asking for you, Mrs. Sharples. She's just coming back way.
Good morning, Mrs. Walker. I hope you don't mind me coming to the back door.
Oh, no, not at all, Mrs. Caldwell.
She's not back.
That settles it.
Her house is all shut up.
I'll never trust anybody again sneaking away like that. I can't stand cheats. You know, you want to start advertising first thing tomorrow morning.
Is Mrs. Longhurst going to stay in London then?
Oh, no, Mrs. Walker. I expect she's on her way to Australia by now.
Australia?
There and her feminine wiles.
Australia? Do you mean that, Mr. Ashley?
She won't prosper. Cheats never prosper.
Oh, but Ina, I think it's so romantic. I've never known anyone who eloped before.
Is Mrs. Longhurst going to get married?
You want to stop asking questions. Like I told you before, you're getting to know an out off me. Now, come on, I want you out of here. I've got this floor to scrub. Mr. Walker, I want some hot water. And when I say hot, I mean hot.
Mrs. Longhurst married, imagine.
Of course, it was very disappointing that we couldn't be at the wedding, but I suppose there wasn't time. But isn't it romantic, Mrs. Walker? A whirlwind courtship. Oh, well, perhaps she'll send us some wedding cake.
Hey, put our light off.
Hey? Well, we better open the curtains then, eh?
No, I don't want them open. It's me head, you see. That long coach trip's given me quite a headache.
Oh, I see. Didn't realise that. You'd been away. I've been round here several times for you.
Well, I had to go to London to visit some friends.
Yeah, well, it's a lucky thing I saw you getting off the bus, wasn't it? I just about given you up as lost.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Fraser, for bringing me home. And now, if you don't mind, I'd rather folks didn't see your car outside my front door.
You sound as if you're riding out, darling.
Oh, no. It's nothing like that. It's just that, well, I've got a lot of tidying up and unpacking to do before folks come visiting. You know what it is. As soon as you get back, folks come round fussing you, and you like to be set to rights first, don't you? Well, bye-bye, Mr. Fraser.
You know my club's opening tonight, don't you?
Oh, is it ready then?
Yes, and I wanted to make sure that you'll be round tomorrow for the cleaning.
Oh, well, I'm not sure.
You did promise.
Yeah, but you see...
Well, look, I'll tell you what, I'll make a deal with you. You be there tomorrow for the cleaning, and I won't tell anybody you're home.
Not anybody?
Not a soul. Cross my heart.
Oh, well, go on then. All right, I'll be there.
Good girl. See you then. Ta-da.
Ina, do you think Martha like Australia?
What important do you think Australia will like her?
Oh, I hope they'll be very happy.
Oh, you sentimental rubbish. After the way she's cheated us.
But, Ina, we couldn't all have married Ted Ashley.
Look, he asked me and I turned him down, didn't I?
Yes.
Well, I hope Martha enjoys being second choice.
Mrs. Sharples.
You know, it's a deceit I can't stand.
Mrs. Sharples.
Yes.
Is it a secret?
What?
I don't know.
We know you're in there.
Yes, we do.
You'll have to come out sooner or later, you know.
Oh, it's you.
Yes, it is.
I've just made a fresh pot of tea. Would you like a cup?
I wouldn't say no.
Me too.
Well,
It is fresh.
your hand's shaking.
Oh, it's my rheumatism, is that? It's just come on.
London climate, no doubt.
Oh, yes, I heard they've had a colder winter than what we've had.
Well, I dare say you had your reasons.
Reasons for what?
Walking out on your best friends for a start.
I just wanted time to think.
Oh, so you wanted time to think. What about?
Oh, things. Just things.
I see. And now you've thought about things, what conclusions have you come to?
I haven't come to any conclusions.
I suppose the streets were paved with gold and all.
Oh, are they really, Ina?
Well, you ought to know. You've been there once.
Oh, yes, of course, so I have. They're not, Ina.
Well, was it worth it?
She means your trip to London, Martha. When are you going to Australia?
She's not made up her mind whether she's going or not yet, have you?
How do you know? Perhaps as you're so clever, you can tell me what my decision's going to be.
That's right.
Can you really, Ina?
You're turning him down, aren't you? You've decided you're better off as you are.
How do you know?
Because you've got no option, and this is your only chance of telling us that he never asked you.
Ina Sharples, there are times when you go too far.
Look, you can't hide it from me. Choose what you say. You know it and I know it, so why mince words? You made a fool of yourself and you'd best face up to it.
Ina's right, Martha.
You can't prove that.
I don't need to. It won't go any further than these four walls anyway. I'm right, aren't I?
Maybe.
It's good enough for me. Now then, tell us all about it. What happened?
Oh, yes, Martha, tell us all about it.
No, really worth telling. Saw Westminster Abbey. Only from the top of a bus, mind. Still, it was something, weren't it? You know, we ought to have a trip down there one day. You'd enjoy it. You can do a lot in a day. Palace, Tower, London Bridge, Nelson. You'd like it. You want to try it sometime. You know, it's true what they say. It all happens down there.
You know, I never cease to wonder.
What at?
Another very old saying, confession's good for the soul.
Well, as we have seen, Ina was a woman who considered herself a catch for any man. She well remembered her youth and the men who fell for her charms and looks. She made sure everyone else remembered this as well.
Grandma? Hey, Grandma, it's after 7. Do you think they're keeping her in?
Here, just tell me again what your Auntie Madge said about me last bank holiday.
My Auntie Madge gave me a shilling last week.
Did she?
Yeah.
More than she's ever given me.
It's nice to have a bit of money in your pocket, isn't it, Grandma?
Yes. What did she say?
She said she didn't know where you managed to put it. She said you must have all her legs.
Now let's hear what she had to say about my face again.
She said you look like a budgie that had turned into a Pekingese.
Right. That's done it. That's seen our Madge off the train. Look, I want you to slip on an errand for you. Go and get your coat on. And get down to the paper shop on the corner of Rosamond Street. They'll still be open. And fetch me a will form. Oh, so you're back, are you?
Oh, I'm not kidding. I had to wait for hours and hours. I'm dead beat. And Cissy Maxwell's got new teeth, and she kept going on and on and on about them.
I'm very interested to hear that you think my teeth don't fit as well as they might. They click when I talk. Here you are, Colin. Do you remember the royal wedding, Martha?
Do you mean the one last year?
No, I mean the Queen's. Ankle length, the Queen Mother. I'd right down to her shoes and her purse slung over her. Now, that's my idea of a bit of all right. That's what the bride's mother should look like.
Well, I wore a
Oh, I was a beautiful bride. I was one of the best-looking young women round here. Big built, you know, but with my waist I could take it. Not that my fool of husband, God rest his soul, ever noticed.
Did you have a big bouquet, Ina? I did.
More fool you. You know, there's a great art to choosing a bouquet. It's got to be showy. Plenty of tea roses made there, mind you, but it's got to be kept on the small side. I'm offering no explanations, ladies.
Ooh, she does put it on.
Oh, put landladies always do. It's a known thing.
She said to me, a posh firm in town have quoted me for a White Kid presentation album for the great day.
White Kid? That's soon going to show the dirt. Minnie Caldwell, whatever do you think you're doing?
Powder in my nose.
Oh, this is something new. Is it a free sample or something?
No, I found it on a trolley bus.
Oh, get away. There's never been no trolley buses for donkey's years.
Well, I've had it by me. I felt very low tonight, very low. I thought it might bring me out of myself.
Well, my face has never seen paint or powder. And I've got a beautiful skin, whatever else people may say about me. Look, I'll tell you something.
Simon, oh, I was just thinking of going without you.
What am I supposed to do? Go out half-dressed?
Well, all that time titivating, we're only going to Rovers any road.
Oh, what titivating?
All the time, you must have spent titivating up now.
Look, I'll titivate you if you don't shut up.
I think you look very nice, Ina.
Oh, shut up.
She's entitled to her own opinion, isn't she?
You were a lovely-looking woman when you were younger.
I don't think I like the sound of that either.
Oh, well, I don't mean that you're not now. What I mean is that when you were younger, you looked, younger.
Mrs. Sharples.
Shoulders well back and tummy in. Ready? Good. Running on the spot, begin. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Remember, keep your tail well tucked in. 1, 2, 1, 2. Knees up, shoulders back, tummy in. 1, 2, 1.
Oh, hello, Mrs. Sharples. I'm sorry to bother you. I'm looking for Mr. Swindley.
Well, you're knocking at my door for it. Do you think I've hidden him or something?
No, but I thought...
Well, he's not here. I'm stood in a draft. Good day.
Oh, but I want him rather urgent.
Oh, so do the police. I shouldn't wonder. Look, why don't you try his shop? He's usually there at this time of the day, playing at grown-ups with Miss Nugent.
So I think you and I could clear up these last few items together, Miss Nugent.
Oh, Doreen can go home then. All right, yeah, then. I'll get in the coat, shall I? Thank you for stopping, Doreen. It's not usually like this. This is exceptional. Oh, I don't mind, really. Anyway, it's told me where everything is.
That's the right spirit, Miss Lostock. You won't go far wrong with that spirit at Swindler's. No, indeed, no.
Well, I'll say ta-ra then. Good night,
Good night,
Doreen.
Miss Lostock. We're shut, you know, Mrs. Sharples. We're only just taking stock.
Do you want customer, don't you? Have you put that article on one side for me?
Yeah, I did, but...
Well, where is it? I've just left my friends for a few minutes. I haven't got much time. Is it the right size?
Well, I don't know.
Well, don't stand gawpy there. Let's see it. I must have taken my trade elsewhere because I can, you know.
It's against the law, you know, Mrs. Sharples.
I've no chance at law that doesn't allow me to buy a private article when it's on counter and I've got money in my purse.
Yes, nevertheless,
Well,
I shouldn't be serving you after time.
Is this it? Might do. How much are you asking for it?
Well, 5 and 11 pence. It's a very good garment, you know, very well finished.
Ah, and you'll be finished, Leonard Swindley, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to charge prices like that. Miss Nugent ought to know different if you don't. I thought there was a sale on.
Well, it doesn't start officially until tomorrow.
Oh, well, it's nearly tomorrow now, and you think I'm going to come out and buy this specially and get myself killed in a sale rush, well, then you can keep it. I thought you were getting rid of stock, otherwise I wouldn't have come. But if I've made a mistake, there's no need to say any more, except looking at this garment and seeing all the dirt that's round the rim of it. I can see you've had this in stock since last Preston Guild, and if you think I'm going to pay top prices for a shop-soiled argument when I can go down somewhere else and get it...
2 and 11 pence, Mrs. Sharples. Special sale reduction.
That's more like it.
During her time in the street, there have been several times when Ina had to leave the mission, and with nowhere to stay, who else would Ina rely on but her friends? Although sometimes her visits weren't always welcome. First of all, it was Martha's turn to play host.
All alone tonight, love? Oh, I expect they'll be coming in later.
Of course, they'll have a lot of work to do, won't they?
She's taken it very hard.
Well, I, for one, don't blame her. After all, if you've got a little house of your own and you've got it the way you want it, it must be very upsetting when someone moves in with you. Very upsetting.
Ooh.
Pardon, love.
Who's it upsetting to?
Martha, love, didn't you say she'd taken it very hard?
Oh, I didn't mean her. I meant Ina.
Oh, I misunderstood.
It's Ina that's taken it very hard. But I see what you mean.
Ah, well, best not talk about that.
Oh, perhaps I shouldn't say it. But Ina isn't the easiest person in the world to get on with.
No.
You can stretch the bond of friendship too far, I always say. I hope I'll always be the first to offer her a helping hand. But when it came to giving Ina a home, I just thought of my mother in one chair in our back room and Ina in the other, and I put my foot down. After all, one's duty to your own flesh and blood comes first, doesn't it?
Of course it does.
Oh, I hope you don't mind me going on like this, but I just had to say it.
Not in the least.
And this is strictly just between us two, like. Oh, I just had to say it.
Hey, what's got her talking?
Never you mind. More in her than meets the eye.
You have that bedroom window leaded for?
Oh, I had 'em done when I had me downstairs done. It only cost an extra 4 shillings.
Oh, I see. Have you got a wind cleaner?
Well, I did have, but they come and go do window cleaners.
Ah, well, this one had better come, and you better start cleaning up, bit of glasses, let a bit of sunshine through. Right, something strange ways up there, and don't say I've been there, because I won't laugh.
I wasn't going to.
Where do you keep your coat?
By the back door.
Well, let's have a look.
I thought you said your uncle was troubling you.
Are you after picking a quarrel with me as soon as I walk into the house?
Oh, no.
Well, then what do you mean you thought my uncle was troubling you? You ought to be pleased that it's getting better.
Oh, I am pleased, Ina.
Oh, well, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if he started up against me any minute. I see our so-called friend doesn't seem fit to come round and see if there's out she can do.
No.
By gum, you can sort them out at a time like this.
I'm going to make us a nice tatey pie to us dinners. Now, what did I do with me gadget?
What did you do with your what?
Me gadget, it's a patent pie funnel.
Oh, well, it's up to you, but I never found anything to beat an overturned egg cup.
Oh, we must move with the times, Ina, mustn't we? Now, wherever can it be?
Oh, don't look at me, I haven't seen the thing.
Our little Pamela brought it back as a keepsake for her grandma. She bought it in an arcade in Cleveland.
Oh, is that the little pasty one that has to go to the open air school?
Oh, every time I look at that child, I think to myself, Pamela, love, you're not long for this world. You're too good.
Good? Oh, well, of course, you know your own know best. But to me, she was always very good at playing rap and run on my vestry door. And I always think a kiddie as'll do that has got her foot on the right road to hell, but me, I'm built that way. Is that your gadget?
Yes.
Made of tin, isn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, no doubt about it. That'll taste your pastry.
It never has done.
How do you know?
I've used it often enough.
2 years ago last week Monday, you came out of your glory hole and banged your head in. Am I right or am I wrong?
Well,
yes, you did. Well, you know, when you come out and bang your head like that, there's some funny things happen to you. I don't want to frighten you, but you know that, don't you?
what sort of thing?
Oh, your sense of taste, your smelling sense, they go like that. You know, if you was to bring your landlord up for building your glory hole so low, you could do him for hundreds. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised if this past 2 years you've not been suffering from potato pie funnel poisoning.
Oh, Ina.
Oh, Ina, nothing. Did you once have an unsuspected itch? And have I heard you comment on hot flushes?
Well,
3 times to my knowledge. Once on the market, once in the snug, and you had one that day I went to help you choose your coconut matting. And that's your door. I wouldn't care. But I haven't tasted ham since last Tuesday.
You what? You've got company.
Good morning, Ina.
To what do we owe the honour?
Well, I thought I'd just pop along and see how you were going on.
Oh, I mustn't grumble. Mind you, it's not what I've been used to.
Oh.
Well, now, you know me, Mr. Tatlock. I've always been used to keeping my feet under a good table.
And what's supposed to be wrong with my catering?
Ooh, listen to that catering. Is that what you call it? So that's what you call putting a neck end of mutton in the oven in Maudsley Street, is it? Well, and I'll tell you another thing. I don't like the way you have your food in sandwiches.
I don't ask you to do it.
Well, you wouldn't get me to do it either.
It might interest you to know that I like my food in butters, and I don't like your tongue.
And I don't like your leaded lights, and I don't like the linoleum on your rubby floor, and I don't like those photographs staring at me in my naked strip in the privacy of my bedroom, giving me the doodads. But do I say anything?
And you don't like the way I make my tatey pie, do you? And you don't like Housewife's Choice. And you think my good coat's shoddy. Well, it may interest you to know, Ina Sharples, that I've been requested on Housewife's Choice, and I'm very proud of the fact.
Are you deaf, too?
Hey?
Well, that was your door if you didn't hear it. They make them indetectable these days, you know.
What?
Hearing aids.
Shall I go?
You leave her alone. Do you want to get my best friend a bad name? Hey, I see the amateurs are doing Student Prince down the road. Golden days when we were very young. Did you ever go to see the Student Prince, Mr. Flock?
No, I can't.
Oh, well, I'm not
say
one
that
for
I
going
did.
to the theatre myself, but that was a bit of all right, no. Plenty to look at and 2 good intervals.
You know, you've got me a bit in the dark.
Hey, well, I'll illuminate you.
Yes, well, what were you saying about your golden days?
Aye, they were spent in my vestry. You know, Mr. Tatlock, you might not believe me, but there were times... Oh, sometimes I might be boiling an egg or washing out a dishcloth. Suddenly I'd get the feeling God's in his heaven, all's right with the world.
Here's your Vera.
Oh, I am. What have you been talking to her on the front doorstep for the past half hour about?
Oh, I'm going out.
Are you better?
I've not been ill.
Honor thy father and thy mother, eh? Them days is past now, aren't they, Mr. Tatlock?
Mother, I just
Oh,
came
shut
to
up, you're
think
just second in the queue. Was there anything important, Mr. Tatlock?
Well, Coronation Street's a bit annoyed at what's happened.
Well, what has happened?
You've gone.
Hey, I'm surprised they ever noticed.
Yes, and the residents have written to the committee.
Oh, what about?
You, asking them to reconsider.
But I don't want to be reconsidered. I'm quite enjoying my little bit of retirement, I am. Besides, what words did they use? Nobody showed me any letter.
Well, they said they were fond of you.
Fond of me? Oh.
All of them.
Well, the two-faced sausages. And send it to a place of worship. I wonder that piece of paper didn't burst into flames.
Well, they were only doing the best for you.
Ah, and why shouldn't they? Who was it? Tin out over her end at the safe Coronation Street from destruction. And tell me another thing. Who was it that poured the bottle of sterilised milk over the incendiary bomb?
I can only repeat, Ina, that they were doing the best for you.
Ah, but is their best good enough?
Albert's efforts on behalf of Ina proved successful, and Ina, much to Martha's relief, moved back to the vestry. The next time she had to move out, Martha wasn't going to be caught again, and Minnie wasn't going to escape forever.
Oh, dear. Oh, Mother, are you sure she's not in? Oh, Polly's a good pussy and there's that naughty boy out all night. Oh, hello, Ina.
You want to get inside? There's some very queer fellas roaming about the streets this time of the night.
Well, one of my pussies is out and I'm calling him in.
Oh, well, you've got me instead. Is that spare bed of yours, Ed?
Yes, I think so. Why?
You've got a lodger.
Oh. A lodger? Oh.
Hey, have you read this?
No, Ina, I haven't had time to see the paper yet.
Oh, well, I shouldn't bother. It's pulling out but bombs and bosoms, and if one isn't falling out, t'other is, and you've got egg all over it. What's the matter with your face?
Nothing, Ina.
What's it looking like that for, then?
It's thinking, Ina.
You want to be very careful, it'll stick. What's it thinking about?
Nothing, Ina.
Do you want your paper or something?
No, I was just wondering.
Oh, well, that's now fresh. The day you stop wondering, then we shall have something to worry about.
I was wondering how long you're stopping.
Stopping where?
Here.
Oh, why? Do you want to clear away or something? You don't let me stop if you've got work to do.
I was wondering how long you're stopping altogether.
You're doing a lot of wondering, are you? I wants to know.
Well, it's me mother, Ina. She doesn't like having visitors. She's very funny in that way.
Your mother is very funny in every way, Minnie Caldwell. And I'm not visiting, I'm lodging, so that shuts her up. And if I'm no bother to you, I'm none to her. Anyway, she's stuck up in bed all day, isn't she?
Oh, only in the winter, Ina.
Well, she's got another 6 months to go. Tell her to put her head under the pillow and make the most of it. She got a tortoise up there with her. What's that?
It's me mother, Ina. When she bangs twice, it means she wants her breakfast. She's got a knobby stick to bang with.
It wouldn't surprise me if she flies on it and all. I don't wonder you look like a candy floss doorknob, Minnie Caldwell. Hey, you're training that kettle for Rosemary or something?
No, Ina. It does that to tell you it's boiling.
Oh, well. Go and tell it before it gets to Colonel Bowie. Tell it we've heard it. You better take your mother a breakfast. She's turning nasty.
No, Ina, that's 3 bangs.
Oh, what's that in Morse code?
It means she wants the paper.
Hey, gum, she's on to a good thing, isn't she? Here, well, give her this half. It's only got footballers and their transfers in, whatever them might mean.
Oh, that'll be Jimmy.
Jimmy who?
Jimmy Graves, Ina. He always gets unhappy if he's playing where they don't like him.
Ah, well, I don't blame him for wanting to shift. I wouldn't like to stay anywhere where I wasn't welcome.
Made homeless yet again, Ina turned to another friend for shelter.
I'm back.
Well, all right, then. Come in. Don't leave the door wide open.
I've got a surprise for you.
Oh, well, I suppose all good things must come to an end.
I've brought you some company. Guess who?
Andy Cap.
You're nearly right.
Good evening, Mrs. Tanner.
Oh, it's you, Mrs. Sharples.
Don't bother to get up. I've seen folk washing their feet before.
Well, as a matter of fact, I was soaking them.
Ah, they need soaking around here. Do you think comfort? That's what I said.
That's what I was thinking.
Well, I won't disturb you.
Thank you.
Well, just make yourself comfortable, Mrs. Sharples. Now, we haven't got much, but we're welcome to what, you're welcome to what we have got. We've got tea, and there's telly, and there's some biscuits in pantry.
I'd have known you were coming. I'd have baked a cake.
Yeah. Do you mind if I pop outside first?
Outside?
Aye, outside. You've not been converted, have you?
I don't get you, Mrs. Sharp.
She doesn't mean you daft apers. She means out there.
Oh, I didn't know what you're on about for a minute. I'll point it out to you.
Thank
Come
you.
on, this way. Now, you see, just there...
That one on the right?
That's... Yeah.
Come here, dreamboat. What are you up to?
Well, I just...
Have you gone completely raving balmy? Are you trying to give your mother a heart attack? The one and only night I can sit and have a bit of peace and soak me feet. What do? You bring that in on
Well,
me.
she were cold.
And you'll be cold and stiff if you don't get her out of here quick.
We have an obligation, you know.
To her, whatever for.
Well, you said so yourself. She did stand witness for me.
Look, just because that old bag goes straight once in her life doesn't mean to say that I want a neighbour in your daft apers.
First spur, you know, one for all and all for that and all that sort of thing. I mean, she did stand witness for me.
I don't think you know what you do mean. You're so twisted up in your mind you don't know what you're on about. Now get
But,
out.
ma'am!
No buts out.
I think you're very hard.
Aye, that goes to show all you know.
Hey, why don't you try and make friends with her? I mean, you could have a real cool time when she comes back, you know.
Are you all right?
Yeah, well, you've got a lot of things in common, you see. She's got a little grandson, too. Your grandmother's for us kick off.
Dennis Tanner, watch it.
To be helpful.
Look, in that half-twisted...
Hey, up, she's back. Hello, Mrs. Sharples. Back again. We'll soon have kettle on for you.
I've got a peculiar remembrance while I was in there.
Oh, yes.
You remember Winifred Broadbent?
I can't say I've ever had the pleasure.
Oh, used to live on Maudsley Street. Well, that was before she had a funny turn.
I know somebody else who can do a funny turn round here and all.
Remember, she was taken queer with Bert Leeming.
And who was Bert Leeming when he was at home?
That's what Sam Broadbent would like to know. It took 5 of them to bring her home. I've never seen anything like it in my life. Remember Doris Henry as was?
I'm fascinated. Who was she?
Well, she was a Philpot. She married Harry Shorthouse from the Barbers. She used to live in Rosamond Street. Oh, but that was before she had her big operation. There were 2 solid days after putting in a steel gut. An absolute miracle it was.
You can say that again.
Are you sure you're not loud enough?
Oh, yes, Martha, I knocked so hard I nearly hurt my hand.
Well, it serves you right. It's all your fault we're standing out here.
Oh, Martha, supposing Ina comes to the door.
Well, what about it? I've got nothing to fear. Hey, up, somebody's coming.
It's us, Mrs. Tanner.
I can see it is. Come in, do. It's Liberty Hall, and our Dennis is holding a benefit.
Oh, we'd rather not come in.
We just brought Ina's bag. We thought she might be needed.
Oh, you've got Mrs. Sharples' bag. Have you missed it? Tatlock told me you got it. Well, thanks very much, ladies. I don't think there's anything else you can do. I'll give you regards to Mrs.
we'd
Sharples.
rather you not mention
Good night, then. Come on, ma'am. Good night, ladies.
Well, what do you think of that?
Well, she were very short, weren't she?
Short? She were positively rude. This is all your fault, you know. Ina's not going to like it there, you know.
Hello. I'm back. I've got it, too. Well, how are we all now? Wouldn't you like to go up to bed, ma'am, and I'll bring you a nice hot cup of tea, eh?
Mrs. Sharples and I have decided we won't bother with a cup of tea, so if you'll just give her the bag.
Your bag, Mrs. Sharples. Here it is.
Well, I don't know how you're all feeling, but I'm feeling like bed. Which room is it?
Dennis Tanner, which room have you prepared for Mrs. Sharples?
Well, if you... Come this way, Mrs. Sharples. I'll take you upstairs.
Good night, Mrs. Tanner.
Good night.
Come down when you've finished. I'll tell you a bedtime story.
Although they had their differences through the years, there was a bond and a friendship among the 3 ladies that was genuine and necessary to all of them. Consequently, when one of their number unexpectedly died, the other 2 took it very hard. The discovery of a long-held secret fascinated the survivors and helped to remind them that their friend had lived a fuller life than even they had suspected.
Come on in, darling. Hey, I tell you something, this bottle's stuffed enough to do something to your wig.
All right? No, we're going to have a sit down.
Come
If you want me to play, will you shut up parroting?
Oh, you built up the lot of you. Now, come on, darling. Shoot a tune, then. All together now. Just pretending to a song.
and be your sweetheart. If you will be mine, all my life.
Hey, watch it, Tucker.
I'll be your Valentine. Waiting at the church, waiting at the church, waiting at the church. When about she left me in the lurch. Oh, how it did upset me. All at once she sent me down the note. Here's a very note, and this is what she wrote.
Are you all right, Mrs. Longhurst? My gummy, you'll have to get used to supping wine in Spain, you know. When I was in the army, we always called it the...
Waiting at the church, waiting at the church, waiting at the church. When I found she left me in the lurch. Oh, how it did upset me, all at once. Get the doctor! Here's the red nose, this is what she wrote. God gets away.
He's dead?
Forasmuch as it hath pleased Almighty God of his great mercy to take unto himself the soul of our dear sister here departed, we therefore commit her body to the ground, earth to earth, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, in sure and certain hope of the resurrection to eternal life through our Lord Jesus Christ, who shall change our vile body, that it may be like unto his glorious body, according to the mighty working whereby he is able to subdue all things to himself. Amen. Amen. Mr. Sharples, one feels so inadequate.
By gum, Maid of the Mountains.
Oh, here's this novel I'll enter about that nurse and the coloured doctor.
You better take it back with you. Hey! This is one of them rare records you make yourself, them metal ones that you make on the Golden Mile.
Oh, it'll be ruined now, Ena. Oh, don't put it on.
I wonder if it's that one we made when we went on mill trip.
Oh, Ena, I'd rather not hear it.
Oh, don't be silly. You've listened to records before, haven't you?
Oh, it's like reading our letters.
Get away. It'll only be two daft women laughing in a booth.
Tom, what'd you do?
Press it.
What's that, Martha?
It's Martha. It says wait till the green light. Is it on, Phil?
It's on. Go on, say something.
What?
I don't know.
Phil, it's silly.
It's not nothing.
I can't say anything in here. I'll never be able to play it back. You say something.
All right. Take this with you. I love you.
Oh, Phil, I can't.
I love you.
You can't say that, Phil. It's going on in that microphone.
I don't care where it's going. I love you.
You can write to me, Phil. Don't upset me.
I love you, and you can't rub it off, even if you do go back.
Please don't make me upset.
Go on. You say it.
I love you, Phil.
It's on. It's on the record. Come on, love.
Oh, Phil.
Oh, no, don't. There's no need. Do look, it's nearly up. Come on, Smiley, sing. It doesn't matter. It's only something.
Oh, Phil, you're a clown.
I'm looking for an angel, but angels are so few. And until the day that
1934.
one comes
That
along,
song, they were plugging it in all the song titles on Golden Mile, 1934.
She said Philip.
To the year they had my operation. Percy Longhurst had scooted off to West Hartlepool with that hairdresser. Martha went to Blackpool on her own with Lily.
But until the day that one comes along... come on, love, it's nearly up. The light's going out. To sing my love songs too. But until the day that one comes along...
Oh, what's with her? That we shall never know. She came back to Percy Longhurst, didn't she?
Oh, I can't believe it. Not Martha.
Well, that's one summer she got a kiss without a kick coming after it. And God knows, one summer in 68 isn't all that much to live for.